I'm going to read through this story, but I also have 5 talking points, okay? 5 talking points that I want to discuss for Scream 6. All right. Is the official title still Scream ! Guys, we are literally 3 months away from the new Scream movie. Now, guys, help me out here. Isn't there a trailer coming within the really soon for this movie? Because I thought I saw something on the interwebs that there was a new trailer coming really soon. So, I'm really excited for the new Scream movie. I am, and I got some reasons why, and we'll discuss that in my talking points. Let's see. Scream 5 was incredibly brutal. It shocked me, Taffer. It didn't really shock me, and I tell you what didn't shock me was the reveal at the end. Probably the most predictable final act of the franchise. That doesn't necessarily mean that a movie is ruined or is bad if I predict the killer at the end of the movie. Like, say the movie starts and 20 minutes in, I'm like, I think that's the killer right there. And that happens to be the killer. If the movie was great all the way through, no harm, no foul. That doesn't bother me, okay? It doesn't bother me if I can predict the killer. That's not the worst thing. What's bad is, for me, is when the killer, please don't let that be the killer, okay? Because that would be way too freaking obvious. And that's what, and guys, spoilers for Scream 5 if you haven't seen Scream 5, but my personal opinion. As soon as Jack Quaid walked onto the screen, I said, he's going to be the killer. I said that. I literally said that to myself. He's going to be the killer. And there's a few reasons. Why? Jack Quaid is the big hot thing right now. You know? He's in The Boys. So it would be really cool if he's the killer. 2, Jack Quaid is a very, very charismatic actor. Okay? And to be able, like Destiny said, he makes your heart swoon. Okay? So you're going to need an actor, because if you're going to be the killer at the end of the movie, think like Matthew Lillard. That is a fucking great actor. And you have to be a great actor to be able to pull off, because once it's revealed, okay, now cat's out of the bag. Now what do? Give me some good acting, okay? And Emma Roberts as Jill was matter of fact, I got Scream 4. I'm at the reveal right now in Scream 4. I literally had it playing in the background. That's why I love my TV, guys. It's right up there. It's great. But yeah. Oh yeah, they're taking Jill to the hospital now. She thinks she got away with it. Okay. But yeah. So that's why I said that. I was like, I guarantee you they're going to make Jack Quaid the killer. And at this point, because I know nothing about the story, I don't really want that. And so it made it that much more predictable. But that's just part of the problem of the movie. That wasn't even the worst part of the movie for me. Guys, I don't hate Scream 5, okay? I give it a solid 3 out of 5. All right? Just a middle of the road. Is it the worst Scream movie for me? Probably. It probably is the worst Scream movie for me, okay? I think there's things about Scream 5 that are better than Scream 3, okay? And vice versa. But I think, once the dust has settled, I think Scream 5 is the worst. Because Scream 3 has a fantastic final act. And it has, spoiler alert, 1 killer, okay? I like that they did that. Because every other Scream movie, spoiler alert, 2 killers. Guys, tell me this. Are you tired of the 2 killer thing? Or are you okay with it, or do you even care? Do you just want a good movie? I don't care. I don't care what the reveal is, but I just want a good movie, okay? Or are you like, I need them to stop with the 2 killer thing. Give me something different. Where are you at with that scenario? I need to know, guys. All right, everybody pay attention now, damn it, okay? Scream 3 is better than 2, 4, and 4. It's not better than 2, and it's definitely not better than both 4s, okay, Destiny? I see what you're doing. I'm watching 4 right now, and you know what it's telling me? That it's better than Scream 3, all right? Wouldn't it be cool if at the end of Scream 6, they don't tell you who the killer is? The killer gets away. How cool would that be? Would that piss you off? You can be honest. If that would, like, do you need to know who the killer is? Or do you want to be left wanting more? You know? As long as they kind of set the pieces up appropriately, I would be for that. I think that would be kind of cool, actually. I could spitball about Scream all day, okay? You know what? It's one of those franchises that maybe I'm expecting a lot from the movie because of the scenario with, you know, I love whodunits. And I love really good, thought-provoking whodunits. And the potential is so there with Scream. And the thing about Scream, Destiny just kind of reminded me of this, is my mind can change on Scream movies constantly. You know, there was a time when Scream 2 was like almost in my last place. And now Scream 2 is my number 2 of the franchise. That's what the franchise does with me. Thank you, Beth, for dropping by. Always great to have Beth here. And I wish you could stay longer, but you know, I get it. You got to go. You got to go, but it's always nice. Everybody say bye, Beth, okay? Have a great night. Have a great night. All right. All right, so now let's read this story. Let's read this story, okay? Hold on. I've jabberjawed long enough, and now I'm going to do some more jabberjawing. Okay, hold on. Scream 6 isn't just gory, it's 100 times gorier than any Scream movie. The directors were always asking for more blood. Okay. I wanted to start talking, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until my talking points, because I do address that in my talking points. Okay. Ghostface is back, and blood is going to flow. Lots of blood. Scream 6 cast member Melissa Barrera recently told Collider that the upcoming sequel has the potential to be 100 times gorier than any previous entry. 100 times gorier. In the long-running horror franchise. According to the actor, directors Bettinelli Open and Gillette were always asking to increase the amount of blood on set. I always think of Mustafa Akkad when I hear that. More blood! More blood! There was a saying on set because the directors were always asking for more blood and more sweat. They always just wanted more. More blood spritz was the saying because they would just always want more. Is she going to keep saying that over and over? I'm being a dick. I'm sorry, Melissa. Okay. With the last Scream, they were tiptoeing and trying to be very respectful of what the franchise had been up until that point. And keeping their inner gory dreams at bay, Barrera added. But with this one, they were like, we're going all out. It's potentially 100 times gorier. Barrera made her Scream debut, blah, blah. Okay, we don't need to read any more of that. Okay. Ghostface gets a lot more intimidating, Ortega said of the Scream 6 script earlier this year. I just read... God, by the way, guys, Jenna Ortega, right? Blowing up the fucking planet right now. Jesus. Just read part of the script, and it just gets more and more gory. I think that this is probably the more aggressive and violent version of Ghostface we've ever seen, which I think will really be fun to shoot. All right, first talking point for Scream. Double exclamation point. Does gory matter? And guys, I need you to pay attention, okay? This is where you guys come in. I need your feedback on this, all right? The directors, Bertinelli and Gillette, did I say that right? Bertinelli? Valerie Bertinelli? Oh, well. They were talking about now that they can kind of take the gloves off because the first movie was, you know, this was the first Scream movie since 2011, and it's the first Scream movie not directed by Wes Craven, so they had to kind of stick to a certain playbook. They didn't want to veer too far outside of, you know, what the franchise is best known for and loved. But like what Rob Zombie did in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, it's kind of a passing of the torch. So now they can have carte blanche. And I guess their version of carte blanche is, and this, guys, this does concern me a little bit too. The biggest thing that we can say about this movie at this point is that it's gorier than ever. It's bloodier than ever. I think I would rather them say, this story is going to blow your fucking balls off. Okay? We're going to give you a story that you're never going to see coming. I would much prefer that than this is the goriest Scream movie. I mean, because Scream movies have plenty of blood. You know, I think there's an ample amount of blood in Scream movies. The first movie is bathed in blood, especially in the final act. You know, there's a lot of stabbing going on and, you know, blood-soaked t-shirts, and the actors have blood all over them. How much blood do you really need in a Scream movie, okay? It's not... guys, give me, like, the blood... What's the bloodiest movie that you can think of? Like, it's not Terrifier 2. Thank you, Brandon. It's not Terrifier 2, okay? You don't need to be Terrifier 2, all right? Michael Joe doesn't like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But the point I'm making is that Rob Zombie said, okay, now I have carte blanche. I can make a movie that's going to completely divide the fans and make them hate my fucking guts. And then the other half will love me to death. And I happen to be on the other half, okay? Dead Alive. Yeah, Dead Alive is considered one. Evil Dead. Yeah, does it need to be Evil Dead 2013? I don't think so. Just give me a good story. That's what Scream's known for. It's a whodunit. And I want you to throw me all these freaking... you know, lefts and rights and turns and, you know, just keep me on my toes. That's what I want. That's what the first movie did. The first movie constantly kept me on my toes. Kept me on. I don't care about blood. All right. So that might be a little negative, a potential negative. Okay. A potential negative. Yeah, it's not a freaking J-horror movie, you know? Number 2, can Scream surprise us at this point? You know, the first movie is so groundbreaking in terms of delivering an extremely effective whodunit, final act, reveal, that it almost shot itself in the foot. You know, because the first movie is the one where you thought there was one killer. You never in your mind, or at least in my mind, did I think there's going to be 2 killers in this movie. And sure enough, when they come out and, you know, at first it's Billy. And you're like, oh, that's, yeah, they tricked us because at first you didn't think it was Billy because his shirt, he was using the corn syrup. But then, boom, he's the killer. And then, boom, here comes Stu. And you're like, holy shit. You know, what else is going to happen? So, yeah, I was talking about, can Scream surprise me at this point? And I guess that ties into what I was stating earlier about I don't need more gore. I just want you to give me a good story and keep me on my toes. And wouldn't it be great if that final act really blows my balls off? Okay? And I asked you guys this earlier too. Would you mind them not revealing who the killer is and maybe setting it up for the next movie? Is that something that would bother you, or do you have to know who the killer is? I mean, of course, I think we want to know who the killer is, but I think more than I want a surprise. That's the biggest thing. I want a surprise. Okay? I don't care about more blood. All right? I like blood, don't get me wrong. I like nice bloody kills, but I don't need it. I don't have to have more of it. Number three. Hayden Kirby is coming back, and this is big. I think there might be a chance of two things, okay? 2 things. Either or. I think there could be, Kirby could be the opening of the movie. That doesn't necessarily mean she's going to die, but I think Kirby's going to be the opening of the movie, introducing her back into the franchise in some way. Now, stay with me here. What if Kirby's not the opening girl that's killed? You know, that could be somebody else. And what if Kirby ends up saving the person at the end of the opening act? What if that's a big surprise that, you know, you're with this character, kind of like you were with Tara at the beginning of the first one. and, you know, you're going through this whole thing, and there's a big, you know, ruckus, a big fight with Ghostface. And then here comes freaking Kirby, swoops in to save the day. And it just completely blows people off their, you know, knocks them off their feet. Like, what? Holy shit, Kirby's back! You know, wouldn't that be like the greatest, like, reintroduction of the character? I think, Amanda, how are you doing? I think it's going to be a big deal for Kirby coming back, and I think they're going to reveal that in a big way. I don't think it's going to be just, oh, there's Kirby. You know, she's just going to just walk into frame. No, I don't. I think Kirby is going to have a big entrance in this movie. And wouldn't that be awesome if she saves or possibly doesn't save, but at least she tries to save the person that's getting killed in the opening of the movie? That would really get people, in the mood, I think that could be really cool. Or she's the killer. Kirby could be the killer. And there's a couple reasons for that. Okay? I'm taking you further down the inception, the levels, okay? There's a reason for that. Kirby was the horror fanatic in part 4. She was so invested in that world. She knew the stab movies back and front. She was us, pretty much, and she knew her deep cuts. She could bring up like I Spit on Your Grave and Last House on the Left and all those deep. She really knew her shit. She knew Giallo. She knew all this stuff. So, what if she is so invested in this world that she becomes kind of obsessed with the notion of becoming a killer? I'm not saying I want that, but boy, would it make it interesting. Boy, would it make it interesting. Okay? Matter of fact, I might call this clip, "Is Kirby the Killer in Scream 6? That way you will click on the video. Okay? I guarantee you'll click on the video if I put that. Okay? What do I put? What did Jenna Ortega say? Okay? So that's I'm really excited. And this might be the number one thing I'm most excited about is Kirby coming back. Okay? Really excited about that. All right. Next one. Sydney. Now, depending on the week, Sydney's either in or she's out, okay? And I think at this point, is she out, guys? I don't know. Let me know. I think she's out. Or are they saving her for a big surprise, Kind of like what they did with The Babysitter 2 with Samara Weaving. And by the way, Samara Weaving's in this movie. I didn't even mention that, but what if they're saving Sydney for a surprise? Because you know what, guys? Hollywood. Mia, what's up? How are you doing? Hollywood does that stuff. Hollywood loves surprises. They love surprising the audience. So nothing is off the table. And this is Scream. This is the franchise that's known for its surprises. So what if this whole thing with Neve Campbell is a charade? What if this is all part of the plan, as the Joker would say? Aaron Click says she's out. I don't see this as a bluff. Charlotte says I'm going to miss Neve Campbell, though she did look bored in Scream. Thank you, Charlotte. You just brought up my next point about Sydney. If you're going to bring her back and do what you did with her in Scream 5, what's the point? And maybe that's another reason why I didn't care for Scream 5 that much, is because Sidney Prescott, she kind of bumped into people. She didn't really do much in the movie. Okay? So, and guys, I love Sidney Prescott. She is. Spoiler alert, we've already killed off Dewey. Okay? Don't know what the fuck we're doing with Gale, if I'm being honest. Do you want Gale to survive in the... Like, I even posted this on Twitter a while back. I was like, you know what? Wouldn't it be cool if Gale rolls her sleeves up and completely slays and kicks ass in this movie? I would be for that. You know what? I will give a character a fighting chance in every movie. If I hated a character... Like, give you an example. If I hated Tina from Halloween 5, if Tina came back in Halloween 6, I would give her a fair shake. What if Tina completely slays and kicks ass? That would be awesome. Karen, I did not like Karen at all in Halloween 2018. She came back. She ended up being one of my favorite characters in Halloween Kills. So I give Gale a shot every time, and she's hit and miss for me, but it would be amazing if Gale comes back in this movie and just completely slays. It would be awesome. I wouldn't be mad if she didn't die. Just don't let her be in the way. I just, if you're going to put these legacy characters in these movies, make them count. That's all I ask. Otherwise, get them out of here. Let's move forward, because Scream 6 is going to make a lot of money. I have a feeling. I think they have it primed to release at a perfect time. And as long as it's halfway decent, this movie's going to make a lot of money. And that means this franchise, it's going to keep going. And so they need to pass the torch. Will Sam and Tara carry on? You know, I mentioned this earlier. We still don't even know which one is the main final girl. I don't know. I got a feeling that at least one, if not both those characters are going to live in this movie. Okay? And they're going to go forward. I have a strong feeling. And I like both those characters. They were two of my strong points for Scream 5, if I'm being honest. Okay? Okay, last point that I wanted to make was New York City could be a game changer. Does it excite you that we're moving out of Woodsboro, guys? And I guess it depends on the franchise. Like, you could take Friday out of Crystal Lake, and I'm fine with it. You know, like Jason Takes Manhattan has grown on me, even though it's only like in New York, like a little bit, like just a little bit. But I would prefer Crystal Lake just because what we love Friday for is that it's a camp slasher. But we've had so many of those movies. Eventually, it's let's move forward. Let's move out and maybe try to find some different stories. So we've been in Woodsboro for 5 movies now. I'm not against them going to New York. I think it could be kind of cool. One thing that the actress that plays Sam, she mentioned about New York was that the mindset of the people that live in New York. They don't really, they're very apathetic. They don't really care too much about what's going on. So if you're in danger, they're going to turn a blind eye. And that's kind of what they're dealing with here in New York. Plus, I mean, it opens up the playing field big time. Woodsboro's kind of a small town. We're talking New York City. So it's a bigger playing field, a lot of opportunities. So I'm kind of cool with it, actually.